Support for gun control, it is slipping here. Latest polls show support. It's now slipping before 50% for the first time since Newtown. And the question is why? I'll start with you, Congressman. If you could give one rationale why you think support has ebbed, because none of the evidence out there, we keep saying the numbers, more than 3,500 people have died at the end of the gun, all the other things, but why has public support gone south?
Because I think most people understand that an assault weapon is a semi-automatic like other semi-automatics that aren't banned, except they look ugly.
But they didn't vote on that, and that didn't get voted down. Yeah. That wasn't even on. That wasn't up for a vote.
I can't explain why, or I can't explain it. The enemy of sensible gun control are the fanatics who want gun control, who say this is just the beginning. And so this was defeated primarily the camel's head under the tent. There should be background checks, but you had proponents say, this is just the first step, we're going to do this, and we're going to confiscate guns. And the opponents believe that, and they don't want their guns confiscated. A lot could have accepted this law if that was it and no further.
You don't think a lot had to do with political cowardice?
No. I think there were some who showed political courage by voting against it.
Andrew?
We're a gun-loving country. We always have been. I refer to guns as one of our original sins as a country. That goes back to how we helped form the country in the first place. Guns are popular. They were before Newtown. Newtown changed some public opinion in the short term, but as we get further away from Newtown, people revert back to where they were.
But how about language? It's funny. I say the word gun control, and all of a sudden, Congressman mentions assault weapon bans. I say background checks. 90% of Americans agree with me on this. Did this thing get marketed wrong?
Yes, but I also think that it's also the media reporting on this. You said for why the numbers have gone down against gun control. The media nationally has told the public, has reported on what's going on, and people are going, oh, okay, gun control is a bad thing. They're taking away our rights. They're taking away our liberties. And that's why I really believe this. But it's been marketed wrong. The White House hasn't been forceful enough. The president is not really known to twist arms. Politics, you got to have somebody in there that will threaten your career. You vote against me, you're done in Washington. And that's the way it's been done under other presidents, but not under this president.
Times had a good piece in that today, and they used the Alaska Senator as an example.
That was Emanuel, but now it's back in Chicago. So.
Right, you needed Emanuel as chief of staff.
I want to remind you all, the Republicans took over in 1994 because 19 Democrats who were strong in getting reelected lost because they voted for the assault weapon ban. So this president was asking people to vote against their own districts.
But here's the thing that last week's horrific events remind us. Now, I'm in favor of anything that reduces violence, but guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Mark, with all due respect, you don't know, nor do I, where those guys got the guns, but I can tell you this much, they didn't buy them legally because there's no record of any of them have any license for these guns.
I'm with you.
So if they got it at a gun show, okay, and they didn't show any idea, they bought it over the internet, I will defy anybody to sit here and tell me that the laws in the book serve the American public right now.
Hear me out, hear me out. I'm in favor of anything that tamps down the violence.
Like a background check?
People kill people. Ugh. They can strap bombs to themselves. They did it last week, and it happens in the Middle East
shot up and they had 200 rounds too.
Look, you know why it's not passed? You asked a question about linguistics. People don't like the word control.
Okay.
The word control is a bad word.
Maybe,
so
but
maybe
you know
they
what?
should market it differently.
But you know what? Even though the majority of Americans supported assault weapon bans, ammo clip restrictions, that wasn't up for a vote. I'm talking about something that 91% of us agree on, which is a background check. Couldn't we have had that?
Can I take
It's a slippery slope argument. He said it. You have a powerful NRA
it's
lobby.
Not a slippery slope. It's a bunch of BS. It was never. They would never had the votes. They weren't going to get any of that through. This was just about a background check. Why do we always make it into something more than it was?
Do you think that the background check would appreciably tamp down the violence in this country? I support it 100%. Do you think it would have much effect?
Appreciably. To me, if it saves a few lives, it's
I
worth
agree with
it.
Wait, don't go down that way. I can save a few lives by having the speed limit be 20 miles an hour. That's the most fallacious argument you can make, if it saves a few lives.
But what's the opposite? That it's got to be absolute to be worth it?
No, but if you would listen a second, you would understand why it failed. First off, if you are west of the Mississippi, you grew up at age 4 with guns, and you know what? You don't see the kind of abuses you see in our urban areas. So people who respect guns and use them well think that the urban area, they got to do it because people in New York and Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. are killing people. But they're not killing people out west.
Even though the facts say otherwise.
No, the facts don't say otherwise. So
People-
you have most
It's
of
not just inner cities where people are dying in this country. I grant you, there's a huge number there. But they're dying in
okay.
other places like Aurora in Colorado,
If we
in
could-
Virginia,
if we
in
could save
Blacksburg.
lives,
They're dying in.
if we could
come
save
on.
lives, why don't we deal with drunk drivers? Why don't we deal with the
You
accidents?
don't
of
think
gu-
we've done material differences with drunk driving in this
No,
country?
no, I don't.
You don't think the MAD campaign made a major
I
impact?
think 25,000 people dying each year on the roads is pretty outrageous.
I remember the number was even higher before.
why-
It's
why-
incremental. This was an incremental step. I
It
know,
was an
I'm so happy.
incremental
I'm
step.
sorry.
Why don't you think it passed? It would have been more symbolic than anything else, and they couldn't even get that through. Why not?
I
Why
disagree
not?
with the congressman. I think there was political cowardice, and it might be easy to Des to say this, but I think it's a glaring example of people not listening to the public and being more concerned here, I think wrongly, about what maybe some of the consultants said about a primary here instead of doing the right thing. We got to jump to a break. When we come back here, we're going to have more on RFL. Stay with us.